If you've worked in the professional realm for any amount of time, then you've probably heard and have set SMART goals. But what if SMART goals really aren't working for you? Well, there's some alternatives that you can add to your goal setting toolbox, and I'm going to share 3 alternatives with you in this video today. Are you finding that the traditional SMART goal framework doesn't really suit your path to success? It's frustrating, isn't it? To sit there and spend time setting goals that you really don't feel connected to, and it starts to feel like just another box to check off, doesn't it? Well, today we're going to go beyond the SMART goal and really look at the power of why behind your goals. My name is Brittany Brown, and I help people change their lives from the inside out. Now, I believe goal setting is super important. I believe there is a time and a place for SMART goals. However, I don't think that SMART goals are the end all be all when it comes to goal setting. And there's some pieces of the puzzle that I feel that are missing within SMART goals. And so I want to talk about what some of those pieces are and some SMART goal alternatives that you can use to add into or replace the SMART goals you have now. I first came across SMART goals in as a teacher, and we would have to set, or we still do, we have to set SMART goals in both our professional realm, like our teacher goals, but it's also encouraged for us to set SMART goals with our students. But I have found that in my own personal life and with the students I teach, they really end up being sort of like a set it and forget it type of goal. Let's look at what SMART goals actually represent and some of the pieces that are missing. A SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Or some of the words change a little bit, but some version of that. And so, thinking about the teaching realm, an example might be by May 30th, 2025, 80% of students will have scored a 92% or above on their accuracy reading as measured by the Dibbles assessment. You can see that that is a goal that I've used similar in the classroom. So it's specific, it's talking about accuracy and the number of students or percentage of students. It's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it's timely, right? There's a deadline. Now, a more personal example might be by December 31st, 2025, I will have lost 35 pounds by eating healthy and exercising 3 days a week. Again, it's very specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's reasonable, or it's realistic or reasonable, and it's timely. So that's the basic format that I usually follow when setting a SMART goal. Other people might do differently, but that's how I set my SMART goals. Here's some problems that I find with using SMART goals alone. The first problem is, to me, it really becomes just another box to check off. A lot of times it's a set it and forget it. And the reason why is because there's no deeper connection. You have the how and the what, but what is missing is the why. When teaching students and setting SMART goals, usually if you ask kids to set a goal around reading or writing or athletics or whatever it is, they start with their why. So you'll say, okay, what's our goal for reading? And a bunch of kids will raise their hand, and most of them will say, I want to be a better reader. That's the why behind. They're stating the why so that I can become a better reader. And so they get the why. And we usually have a why for stating our goals. But what I find missing in the SMART goal is the why is not attached. And so oftentimes kids will say, because I want to be a better reader. And as teachers, we say, yes, that's great. However, we need to focus on what will make you a better reader. Let's set a goal around your accuracy. Let's set a goal around your reading comprehension or your fluency. But that is so disconnected in what kids are doing. If you tell a kid, let's set a goal around accuracy, that means nothing to them. That's way over their heads. How many of you feel that way when you set your SMART goals? Like there's no connection there. There's no why. For the second example of losing weight, the why is like so that I can be healthy, so that I can live longer, so that I can, play with my kids without running out of breath. Okay, so I can just feel better and have more energy. But none of that is displayed in the SMART goal. There's not that connection. It's missing the why. And that part is probably, in my world, the biggest part because that's what keeps you going to achieve your goals. The next problem is SMART goals fit into a have, do, be order rather than a be, do, and have. If you have this thing, then you do this thing, and then you become this type of person. However, most successful people will tell you that the order we should be focusing on is really a be, do, and have. When you become something, when you take in that identity and you become something, then you do the things and then you have what you want and then you reach your goal. If you teach students to embody better readers, then they become more confident in their reading. And when they become more confident in their reading, they're more likely to do the reading. They're more likely to try and put an effort. And then they have the results of accuracy. We know internally that it's a be, do, and have. We know that it goes why, then how, then what. But we teach it out of ourselves and we teach it out of our kids within the SMART goal. So the last problem is SMART goals are very action and results based, cause and effects, action, results, which is great. We need to take action to get results. However, again, it's missing a couple steps, and those two steps are the thinking and the emotions. The way our minds work is it starts with your thinking. And your thinking is what leads to your emotions or feelings. And your emotions and feelings lead to your actions. And then your actions create your results. But if you're only focused on the actions and you ignore the thinking and the emotions, then you're probably not going to take the actions you need to get the results. And that's where I find for myself personally, if I don't use some of these alternatives to support SMART goals, my SMART goals fall flat because I'm not addressing my thinking around the goals and my emotions around the goals. Those are the 4 problems I find with SMART goals. It becomes just another thing because it's not connected to your why. It's not connected to your identity or the be, do, and have. And it's really focused on actions and results and does not account for the 2 steps ahead of that, which is the thinking and the emotions. So, what are some of those alternatives?
The first alternative to SMART goals is what I call soul goals. And what I like about these is, well, let me back up a little bit. This is kind of, you can use it as a replacement to SMART goals, or you can use it as like a precursor to SMART goals. So before you set your SMART goal, you go into your soul goal. And soul goals, the purpose is to really focus on your why, Why do you want the things you want? Why are you setting that goal in the first place? What do you intend to happen? And your vision. So this really taps into your bigger purpose, your vision, your intention, your why, and then the goal. But you can set a goal around these things as well. But I think it's really that baseline, the foundation for your goals. It's the process behind the goals. If you're going to use a SMART goal, which I do still sometimes, I like to do this first. So let's talk about what this actually stands for. The S stands for ding, ding, ding. Start with why. Why do you want the thing you want? If you want to lose weight, why? If you want to earn more money, why? Okay. If you have this big dream for a project, why? Why are you doing that? If you want to change careers, why are you doing that? If you want a richer spiritual connection, why? Okay, so really starting with why. Why do you want the thing that you want? The O stands for outcome. And outcome is really taking the time, taking a quiet moment, doing some meditation, and visualizing or imagining a positive outcome. We use our imagination all of the time. We're visualizing all of the time, but we don't realize when we're doing it. And so, my own personal awareness, one of the things I've been trying to become more aware on with myself is noticing what I'm actually visualizing or imagining as I go about my day. I've noticed like when I drive to work and I'm thinking about the day ahead of me and what am I going to teach and what do I need to prep and what am I going to do when I get there? All of those things happen in little slideshows. So we visualize all the time. If I told you to imagine a watermelon slice, you probably have a picture of a watermelon slice. Or maybe it's even just the words, right? But we think in those snapshot pictures, or a lemon, or an apple. Or if I said, imagine your kitchen right now, imagine your bathroom, imagine your bedroom, you're probably getting a slideshow of images. So what we want to do is visualize the positive outcome. And this can be challenging, especially when it's a goal or a vision or an idea that you don't actually know how you're going to accomplish and you're not really sure what it looks like. But that's why we take some time to think about it, even if it's just writing a list. I used to think I'm not good at visualizing and I'm not good at imagining. That's a mindset that I'm changing. And I've realized that building pictures in your mind we all have, it's an intellectual faculty, right? That humans have is imagination, but we tend to lose it or we don't use it as much. And so it can be challenging to come back to that. But with practice, it's kind of like tuning in and you study it. It can be more of a learned skill. Like we just have it, but you can hone in on it and strengthen it by studying and learning and practicing it. So the O is really to imagine a positive outcome. When you reach this goal, what does that look like? Who is the person that would do those things? Who is the person that you're becoming? Like when you reach that goal, who are you going to be? Starting with building that identity in your mind. The next piece is unlimited. And because this focuses on the why and the intention, unlimited really just means that you have unlimited potential. You have unlimited potential. So the bigger, the better. Like if success was inevitable, I read that in a book that I'm reading right now. It's called Psycho Cybernetics. And one of the things it said, and this goes back to that visualizing and imagining, like, what would you do if you knew that success was inevitable? And so the you is really stepping into an unlimited mindset without judgment, like, what if? Just a what if. Like, what if I could do this? What if success was inevitable? What if I knew I was going to reach this goal and there was no chance of failure? What would that look like? What would that feel like? Knowing that you have the universe, spirit, God, whatever you call it, higher power on your side. And that leads us to the L, which is listen. Once you have this big idea, this big goal, your intention, it's really about taking time to listen to your intuition and the natural guidance. And what I found for me is it usually comes in a whisper or a nudge or a feeling or like out of the blue. And so it's about taking time to just let it be and like the how or the what, and let that just rise to the top. So listening to your intuition about what to do next or where to start. Okay. Start with why, visualize a positive outcome, make it unlimited or step into that limitless potential, and then listen for the next steps. And that is how you create, or the process for soul goals, which again is an alternative or a precursor to SMART goals. The next one is, I call it a tier goal. It's really a process behind taking mental ideas and putting them into physical form. As above, so below. As within is what gets created on the outside. Right? And so a lot of times we think that, or we tend to feel like if I change my outer circumstances, then that will change my life. When really it's when we change ourselves from the inside, then our external circumstances change. And so TIER really just stands for thoughts, emotions, actions, and results. This is the process for turning a mental idea and making it happen in the physical form. Manifesting or mind to matter is that your thoughts lead to your emotions lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your results. Now, what I like about this as an alternative to SMART goals is SMART goals focus on the action and the results. You take this action, this is your result. But we often find ourselves trapped or stopped by the action piece. We can't actually take the action. We get stuck and we can't move into action to get the results. Something is blocking us. And that's usually our mindset or our beliefs or our thinking about ourselves and how we perceive the world. It's your perceived truth. But we can change those things. That was just information that was programmed into you and stored into you at a very young age through repetition and suggestion and modeling, which is like a whole other video, a whole other course, right? But the important thing is knowing that in order to turn your action on and to turn on results, we have to start with our thinking and emotions. You have to think new thoughts so that you create new emotions, a new vibrational state. Emotions are just an awareness of the vibrational state you're in, your mood and your energy. And then when you start to change your thoughts and you change the emotions, then that leads you to new action, which in turn leads to your results. So the goal structure that you can use for this, I first heard it from Dr. Benjamin Perkis. I believe he's a psychotherapist, and he does a lot of work with emotional release and goal setting using essential oils, which is how I first heard about him. but he called these enhanced affirmation. And I really like this structure. It's kind of like a Mad Lib, right? But I like this structure because it encompasses thoughts, emotions, and actions into one simple sentence. So basically, it goes, I feel blank in my blank as I complete blank, and you fill in the blanks. So I feel, the first one is a feeling. So you state a feeling or an emotion. In my, where in your body are you feeling this? Because our emotions are stored in the body. Our brain triggers the emotion, but the emotional energy is in our bodies. That's why we have like a pit in our stomach or our chest feels tight. So it could be in your body, or it might just be an energy feeling. Like I feel light, or I feel in my like spirit, in my whole body, right? So a feeling in my, where in your body do you feel it as I complete, and then what's the action? So a feeling, I feel energetic in my whole body or in my legs as I work out. And that is triggering an emotion. If you just say, I'm going to work out 3 days a week, your mind instantly goes to, you don't want to do that. At least my mind does, right? You don't want to do that. You can't do that. But if it's like, I feel so powerful in my arms and legs as I work out 3 days a week. Like just the energy alone in that is so much more powerful. Or I feel grateful in my heart as I balance my budget. Instead of being like, bills, 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 I can't afford that. But I'm so grateful for the money that's coming in my heart so that I can pay these bills. And so that is the tear or teardrop goal. Thoughts leading to emotions, emotions leading to actions, and actions leading to results. And if you are all about this, go ahead and try it out in the comments. I would love to see what you come up with using this structure. All right. The last alternative we're going to talk about is heart goals. And this is goal setting from the heart instead of the brain. SMART goals are very logical. This, and this, action, results based. Heart goals are more encompassing of like, what does your heart want you to do? They're still goals, but they're more nurturing and soothing and identity focus rather than like action and results. And I found a couple of different variations on heart goals and what each thing represents. This is my take. This is my version. So if it doesn't align with other things you see online, it's totally fine. Take it or leave it. Use it or don't. These are just some alternatives. H in heart goal stands for heart. What does your heart desire? Like, what is it that you really want? My guess is if you're like, I want more money, it's probably not because it's like, oh, I want to be a rich billionaire. It's probably more like, I want to be able to give my kids more opportunities. I want to be able to take vacations or take more time off of work. So that's the heart. What does your heart desire? E stands for emotion. Shocker, I know. When you think about this desire or goal, what emotions do you feel? Again, because it goes thoughts, emotions, and we want to make that emotional connection because that's how you're going to get in the vibrational state of your goals, is to have that connecting emotional energy. So when you think about this goal or desire, what emotions do you feel? Like as if it had already happened. Or sometimes like in the last one, what is the emotion when you're done even taking the actions? That's what helps me take actions. Like, I don't want to do that, but I like the way I feel after. And then the A is the affirmation. So a statement that goes with it, and this connects to the thinking part, our positive self talk, right? Rewiring our thinking around our goal. And you can use I am statements or I have, I make, I do, those sorts of things. I got this from Bob Proctor. He's gone now, but I still watch his videos and he's a huge mentor of mine. And he says it as like, I am so happy and grateful now that. So that's an affirmation that you can use. I am so happy and grateful now that I am living a healthy life, or I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm the perfect weight of. I am so happy and grateful now that I am living a financially abundant life. I am so happy and grateful now that I have an open, connected relationship with my spouse. You get the point. Okay, then the next one, R, is repetition. Our brains learn best through repetition. What fires together, wires together, and if you do that over and over and over, you're strengthening the neurological connection in your brain, which means it fires faster and like grows bigger. You're strengthening that part. So repetition, write it down and repeat it every day or multiple times a day. I find I like to list my goals in the morning and then in the afternoons when like I'm trying after lunch and you're kind of in that afternoon slum and you kind of need to get going again, I'll repeat them again. And then transform. Act as if you already have the thing or the thing's already happened. How do you step into that person and become that person? And that's the action piece. So we have emotions, we have thinking, and we have action. And we do that again and again and again and again until it comes into form. It comes into our life. Or until we start to believe it. And then once we believe it, then it comes into our life. So that's the heart goals. There you have it. The 3 alternatives to SMART goals are in addition to or precursors. We have the soul goals, the tier goals, and the heart goals. These are some ways to see goal setting in a new perspective. See goal setting as something for you, not like you get to set these goals, you get to think about it, you get to visualize it and feel good about it, rather than it's something you have to do because everyone just tells you that you need to do it. If you like this video, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. If you want to comment your goals or test any of these out, I would love to hear them and encourage you and write back to you. So feel free to post a comment, even if you don't want to post what your actual goal is. I would love to hear what your favorite one is or one that you want to try. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Have the best day. See you later.